How's it going, nerds? Good to see you. Welcome back to City Skylines Sunset Harbor. I certainly hope you're having a good one. I'm excited to be back. You guys seem to love that first episode. I'm gonna be honest, I was really nervous doing something with Facecam. I still sort of am. I'm not used to this in the slightest. I do Facecam on every live stream, and yet when it comes to doing it in a video, it's just weird. It doesn't help that I use OBS, which is a live streaming software, to record my camera, which is up here. And right above the recording button is the start streaming button. And I'm always terrified I'm gonna click the wrong one. And then over in the live stream channel, people are just gonna see me and they're gonna hear me, but they're not gonna see the game. They're not gonna hear the game. They're just gonna see me and have no idea. Well, I mean, they'll probably figure out what I'm doing, but I'm not gonna know that I've done it until I get 35 minutes in, done with the video, look up here and see the wrong button highlighted red. Also, these are filthy, so they're gonna live over there today. On a serious note though, thank you so much for the kind words on that first episode. I know the Facecam thing's a bit different. I know we don't usually do much editing on City Skylines videos, and there wasn't that much of it, but you guys seem to really enjoy it, and I appreciate it so much. Also, the kind words about my hair are really nice. A couple of people were like, I don't like it, but I mean, it's my hair, so too bad. Anyway, we are back in Nerdy Bay, where things are going pretty well. We've got a lot of demand for residential zoning, so I'm thinking what we'll do is just get started by addressing that. Let's just go ahead and throw residential zoning in there, right where the old industry was. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and do some zoning here. Let's do some zoning there. And let's do some zoning there as well, just to fill up those spaces, just get some more commercial in there right around the fish market, and that'll hopefully do some good for us. I'm also thinking we could probably throw some industry back there and a little bit of commercial just up here, because I don't know if I'm going to extend the battery in that direction. I don't need to point. You guys can see where we're built. This is why Facecam's difficult, because I have a habit of talking with my hands when I know a camera's on, and it doesn't make sense for a video like this. You can see what I'm doing. I don't need to point. What's worse is I point even when I'm not on, don't have Facecam on, and you just don't know I'm doing it because you can't see it. This is great. So professional. Anyway, I mentioned the last episode and a bunch of you had a bunch of feedback for my fishing, which is kind of cool. Like, I'm assuming a lot of you have been playing the hell. Oh, okay. We're a boomtown. I wasn't paying attention to this. We have 2,200 people. We got another tile. We got public transport, although I don't think we get anything new. We've got ore industry, we've got recycling, we've got highways, which is going to be a big deal a little bit later on. We have got death care, which is good. We've got elder care and child health centers, and not a whole lot else. We have got the fish factory as well. We'll look at all that in just a second. But a bunch of you pointed out that apparently the fishing lines, yeah, I can build them outside of tiles. I don't have to own them. So that's actually kind of cool. That'll be really useful. Although I'm noticing that we did have some tuna over this way at one point, but it's not there anymore. A bunch of you have been saying, though, that apparently the fish kind of move around a little bit and it's not necessarily consistent, so that might be something we have to stay on top of. We'll figure that out. Whatever the case, I do want to redo the fishing lines a little bit, because I'm gonna be picky. I'm gonna make them all neat, is what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna go 10 units that way, and we're gonna go 10 units that way. And I'm gonna point this out because I get this question every single time. How do I know it's 10 units? And what is a unit? So we could probably demonstrate this with the road a little bit better. And I know if you've seen this before, I apologize, but I do get this question every time I do unmodded and start counting units. So the units measurement comes from a mod. I call it units because there's a certain mod, I think Precision Engineering, that will mark it as 10U, so I say units. But essentially, if I go to place a road, you can see that is a single unit. That's 2, and then if I extend it out, that's 5. And I know it's 5 because the big lines on the other side have appeared. So from one big line to the other big line, it's 10 units. In this case, that'll be 400 money, $400. So that is 20 units, and then that will be, you know, 30 units, etc., etc. So that's how we count units in City Skylines. Next time I'll teach you how to count something. I don't know. We're not gonna I was gonna be real. I was gonna whatever. Moving on. Anyway, So that's why when I say, you know, a 10 by 10 curve, it's 10 units that way, then that way, and it automatically curves it. And that's essentially what I'm going to do with this fishing line, is I'm just going to have it go out, you know, 10 that way, and then curve, and then around like this, and we'll go over this way. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. So 10 that way, and then, you know, 10 by 10 again. And we're just going to connect it across like that. And it's not exactly a huge fishing line, but it doesn't really need to be. It gets a little bit of salmon, it gets a lot of anchovies, it gets a bit of shellfish, and that's totally fine. Because I kind of want to go ahead and expand my fishing lines a little bit. So I want to do some terraforming. It's going to make life a lot easier. And what I'm going to do is grab this height here, where this key happens to be, and I'm going to go like this. I'm just going to extend it way along there, go back and forth with the camera a little bit. I know that's a little bit jarring to watch, but it's the easiest way to get a nice straight line. And then all I need to do is bring a key the whole way over here, and I want to bring it up to here because that's going to be in line with that road, and then I want to take it a little bit further because I can, and then all we need to do is go from this spot right up to here, and we've got a nice road right along the key there, which is absolutely perfect. We can bring some avenues down here, we can bring an avenue down here, and we've got plenty of room for more fishing harbors, which is fantastic news. So let's go in, let's tear out that entire road, let's go into industry. And honestly, I'm thinking 2 fishing harbors because I can, right? Simple as that, because I can. I want more fishing. I do. I want more fishing. So I'm kind of curious to see what this does for our industry. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really curious to see what this happens to do. Also, we need to get more piping in here. So let's bring that done that way. Let's connect you over. Let's bring this to here. Let's bring this down to here. And then we can just connect these all together. And there we go. We've got piping to all of the fishing harbors. Let's do the... Wait, why do you not have a road connection? Oh, no, you do have a road connection. You don't have power, though, so we can fix that in a second. Let's get the fishing lines in here. Let's get some power to these guys, and let's get them working. And just like that, we should have 2 more fishing lines going, and we absolutely do, which is fantastic news. Now, while I was doing this, I was actually having a little bit of a look at the fishing, and I noticed that they do actually move around, which is really cool. It makes sense. That's gonna be really interesting though for an industry. You know, the type of resource that you're dealing with moves around. That's new for City Skylines. That is kind of cool though. I like it a lot. Like this line here doesn't have anywhere near as much shellfish as it had. This one has a little bit less. This one actually has more than it had when I put the line in. So that's pretty cool. And I'm hoping that what happens here is we see a lot more fish getting sold at this market. I want to see what you're doing. So you are going to the Vermont residence. You are an operator at the fish stick factory. Okay, so I'm assuming you were just at the fish market buying some fish. That's fair enough. I mean, you know, I'm not going to judge. That's what I want you doing. What I did do to get power to this harbor though was I went in and put the biofuel bus depot down because I thought we might as well see if we can get a little bit of public transport in here. So that's kind of what we're going to do. And what I'm thinking we'll do for it is essentially go to here. We'll go to here. We'll go to here. And I'm just going to be quite lazy with this and have it sort of loop around in a very, very basic way. So it'll loop to there. It can loop to there and straight down to there. And that'll give us a nice little loop around everything. We could do something similar that goes up towards the industrial area, and I'm going to have it stop by each of those intersections there so people can get across nice and easy. Then we'll have it come down here, stop by those, maybe come down and stop, say, there, and go like that. And that'll give people a crossover point between those 2 lines where they can get off, you know, one bus, get on another, and go to a different part of the city. These lines aren't going to be permanent by any stretch of the imagination, but they will probably work a little bit. And I'm going to say that this one's going to be red. This one's going to be sort of a pinkish color. And we'll gradually go down and make them all different colors. I want to make it the color of the rainbow is what I want to do. And then some. We're going to have it be very, very colorful around here. But we'll see how that goes. We'll send the biofuel buses out. This being base game City Skylines without mods, I have a feeling it's going to send out a lot of buses. Although it's actually only sent out 4, which is surprising. I'm not going to lie. Usually it sends out a lot more, but I appreciate it not doing that. For now. In time, it will. But right now, it's behaving. I was right. The buses are going to be kind of popular, which is fantastic news. That's going to help people get around a little bit better. So I guess speaking of people, we're probably going to want more of them. We have a lot of demand for residential, so let's go ahead and expand some residential space. We'll do it down here is what we'll do. We'll go 20 that way. We'll go 20 that way. We'll connect those together the way we do. We'll make it relatively symmetrical because it is a battery at heart. You know, that's kind of what it is. Whether or not, you know, I mean, look, the one thing I will say is that there were a surprising, I say surprising, there was an expected number of comments in the first episode of this series that was like, you know, I was waiting on you making a battery. I was surprised when you said you weren't going to make a battery. And then I was suddenly not surprised when you went ahead and made a battery. I'm glad. If there's one thing that City Skylines has done for me, it's given people a window into how my mind works. In that I come up with an idea, I think it's a good idea, I immediately realize it's not, and I backtrack to what is a tried and tested idea. Essentially, I'm a creature of habit, right? That's me, basically. I also don't know why I did those pipes like that. I didn't need to, but whatever, we've done it. I'll tell you what I will do, actually. While that's all building, I want to bring another bit of avenue out here, is what I want to do. And I want to bring it out to... what is that? That's 40, 50, 60, 70. Let's do 80. So that's about 80 units right there. And the reason I want to do that is because I'm thinking I might bring the highway up that way and connect it to this road. I don't think that would be a bad idea. I really don't think that would be a bad idea. Because my idea would be to elevate the highway, have this sort of, not quite like this, but have that connect to it. So the highway comes up and connects to the bottom part of that, and then the bit on the right goes around the city even further. Might not make a lot of sense, but it kind of makes sense to me. So that's kind of my thinking, but it would mean we need to go in and redo this entire stretch here as well, which again, I guess we kind of need to do sooner than later. So let's just do it. Let's just get this done. I think we've got about enough money to make this work. So what we're going to do is bulldoze all these sections of avenue. So all of those go. Then all these sections of road need to go. And this is going to completely mess up my zoning for a little bit, but that's fine. We'll make it work, is what we'll do. We need to remember what needs to be connected across, though. So let's see here. So you guys are going to be connected across. Oh boy. You guys are going to be connected across. I think you guys got connected. No, you didn't get connected across. I think you did. No, I don't think you did, actually. Okay. Okay, this is going to be tricky. Bulldoze those. Bulldoze those. Basically, anything that sticks into the middle there needs to be bulldozed because it's not going to let me put my new avenue in here. And we'll just go with a 6-lane. We'll go with a big old 6-lane avenue going straight through the middle of everything here. So straight up to there, we'll connect all the old avenues to it. And then we have to rebuild everything that gets bulldozed because it's not zoned or on a road anymore. So that's going to be great. So it turns out I do, in fact, not have enough money to do all of this. And I also do, in fact, not have another loan that I can take. So I guess the silver lining is I got some really nice paths in here that the pedestrians are going to love. But the downside is ain't no one exporting nothing for a while because I got to make some money. And power's not why is power not connected anymore? Hello? Ah. Yeah, that would do it. So we have no buildings up there that can transmit power. Right. So what that means is we're moving the police station. Police station lives there. And that should give power across to everybody. And that should, but no, this area doesn't have power. Okay. All right. That's simple. It means we're moving the medical center. There we go. Everybody has power. Everyone's happy. These guys are even happier because they're closer to the medical center. Everything sorted. Crisis averted. No need to panic. Everyone's gonna be fine. We need more industry. We need more money. I need to connect these highways. And I really don't want to connect them in the way that I think I'm gonna have to connect them here. I'm not gonna lie. I have a sneaking suspicion I'm gonna have to connect these in a very particular way. Which is one of the, you know, basically, what I think I'm going to need to do here is go in with a one-way road like this. and essentially, you know, boom. And you know what? We're just gonna do this as a temporary thing, I guess. I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna have to. I just think we're gonna have to. So let's see. Let's go. What is that? That's about 5 there. So let's go straight across. Oh, it's not gonna let me. Can I do this? No. Okay, we're gonna have to redo this bit, and we're gonna have to go straight across like that. And then I want to bring this in to there, and we want to bulldoze and bulldoze, and I want to see if I can get a nice little curve here. So if I do that, maybe not. This might not let me. It does let me do that. What if I go 3? Yeah, 3 seems pretty good. So 1, 2, 3 in. 1, 2, 3 in. Bulldoze you. That seems okay. That seems like a decent little curve. It's not too steep, not too bad. And all we can do is go in and change it to be sections of highway. Not perfect, but it's a way in and out of the city, so it will do the job for the time being. It means we have a connection to the highway, and I mean, I don't like it. I really don't. I'm really not a fan of this kind of connection. It really never works for me. So it's temporary, but it's a way to get exports, imports. It's a way to keep people coming into the city. It'll keep people happy. That's what's important here. If traffic backs up, I'll get really annoyed though. This early on, if we have traffic problems with 3,500 people, then there's genuinely no hope for me. I have about 2,000, I think I said like 2,100, I've got about 2,050 hours in this game. If I still have traffic problems with 3,700 people, there's just a problem. I'm just bad at this game. Oh man, we're having power problems, really? I mean, I could put one of these guys in to get a bit of wave power, but I don't think we want to do that. I think we might just have to throw another coal power plant in here. We do get the oil one at 4,200 people though, so we can start getting rid of some of the coal plants at some point soon, but I guess for the time being, more coal power it is. There you go. That'll cheer everybody up. They can get their water again. You know, nice clean drinking water powered by coal. That's the world for it. That's Nerdy Bay for you. That's Nerdy Bay for you. I am curious though, how many people use these paths? Actually a pretty good number. I'm not gonna complain. Like this has been my thing, right? Ever since I started the Dorchester Let's Play. Number 1, it's been like, let's make things interesting. Number 2, it's like, let's just get people walking, right? I want people walking around. I want them moving that way. Public transport, use your feet, use your bike, do whatever. That's the way I want people getting around here. Also, we have districts, so let's start playing with those while we are waiting on things kind of picking up in terms of money, because we haven't done any yet, and I'm pretty sure I could get some cheeky old time policies in here just to help with traffic a little bit. Although, well, yeah, actually, there's quite a few roads that could go through different districts here that we probably don't want people using. I also didn't fill that district in, so that just totally messed that up. Let's do this one again, is what we're gonna do. So we'll tidy these up shortly. What I'm thinking we do is we're just gonna make each of these into its own little district. I don't think I ever usually go this small with districts. I mean, I've had some proper tiny districts before, but I mean, this early on, usually I do like larger district spaces, but I've got some ideas, is what I'm thinking. So bring this around, we'll fill in that bit that I apparently missed somehow, okay. And, oh, it's gonna be Linden Heights, don't worry. I'm not telling the Linden story again. I told it recently on a live stream, and half the chat was like, I've not heard the Linden story, and the other half of chat was like, ugh, not again. Not again. I've heard this story like 6 times, which is true. I've told that story in almost every single City Skyline series that I've done, so this will be the exception. If you don't know the Linden story, I'd be curious to see if anyone in the comments can tell that story on my behalf, because I've probably told several versions of it at this point as well. It's one of those things that you tell the story, and as time goes by, you kind of forget certain details, so you kind of fill in the gaps with what you think happened. So the earliest rendition of that story is most likely the most accurate. I'd be curious to see what version of it pops up in the comments if any of you feel like doing that. I'd be genuinely really curious. Anyway, what I'm going to go ahead and do here is bring these districts around like this, so that these roads here can be used for different things. This is obviously going to be an avenue. This here should probably not be part of that district. And I'm going to redo that bit because it's kind of bugging me. But that should go up to about there and then be cut off like that. And basically all of these, maybe this one should be cut off as well. Maybe everything in that coastal bit should be cut off completely. But essentially all of those spaces are going to have an old time policy on them, so that if you are going to the district, great. If you're not, then you shouldn't be driving on those roads. Those avenues can probably be the exception. This is also assuming we have the old time policy, which we don't get until 4,200 people. So we're not going to be doing that, but that's fine. We are up to 55,000 money. And what I'm thinking I might do is this. And I know you're looking at this and you're thinking to yourself, why? And my thinking is that I could get some kind of better highway connection here by doing this. I want to copy the highway connections I've done recently in Dorchester, where one of them comes in and goes straight to the avenue, the other loops over the avenue. I just want to do that. I'm not gonna lie, I know it's not the most efficient, but I think it looks cool, and I think it'll work for the time being, and as we add more of them, it'll spread the load of traffic across the city. So, boom, we're doing that. And we get $25,000 to play with. Let's see if I can do something like this. I might want to flatten that land a little bit, which might not be a great idea for keeping money, but let's see what happens. We'll flatten all of this, which actually did work out kind of nicely. It did cost like $15,000 to do that though, so we have like no money left, so we're not doing the highway thing just yet. But I might have enough, I do have enough to do that right there. So that can go up to there. This highway connection, this turn is going to be something. It's going to be a very, very sharp turn is what it's going to be. Let's see if we can, let's see, go to there. And let's see if I can measure this out with regular roads. That's going to be the real challenge. So what we want to do is go 5 and 5. And then what would the equivalent be? So what is the distance here? 460 is the cost, so that's to there. And then that curve is going to be, I think that's 9 by 9. So that's the curve we're looking at. That's decent. I can make that work. Let's just turn that into highway roads. And I need to remember that I'm doing this with right-hand drive traffic. That's so much more of a challenge than it has any right to be. It really is. Like, that's the big thing with this. And by the way, speaking of you guys remembering things that I don't remember, I was amazed to see that several of you commented on that first episode and were like, actually, hold on a minute. And I'm not making fun here, but just genuinely, just this moment of, actually, I think you'll find your first vanilla Let's Play had right-hand drive traffic as well. This is in fact not your first series that does in fact have right-hand drive traffic. I just thought you should know that. Oh yeah, these are filthy. And there we go. We've got this weird highway entrance thing, this absolute abomination that I'm sure some of you are looking at and going, why? I like it, I do, and I'm thinking what I want to do over here is essentially bring this road around, so that's going to go 10, and that's going to go 10, and then this is going to do whatever this is going to do, so it's going to be whatever that distance is, and we're going to kind of do the same thing. That's going to happen again, but it's going to happen over on this road somewhere, and I don't know where, but I think the idea would be that we bring this highway into like, I don't know, say here, maybe here, right? We bring it into there and we put this in that spot, or probably like further back here. It's actually going to go quite far back looking at it. So what we do is put it there. We do the same thing. And then we have the highway continue. Oh, this is going to be a disaster. This is going to be so bad. Oh my God. I mean, we could use that. We could, but I'm curious to see what happens here. I'm genuinely quite curious to see how this plays out, because this could be just the worst thing I've ever built, but I'm excited. I'm really excited. Anyway, we have a bit more residential demands. Let me go ahead and get that addressed really quick here. Because the thing is, this might be the first city I've ever built that sort of caters to the idea of the battery in a way that isn't ridiculous like this. So we're going to turn this into like a really urban area, right? This isn't going to be a suburb or anything like that. This is going to be sort of a city center, urban area type thing. We're going to have a lot of industry, a lot of fishing across the water there. So this might work out. This might be okay. What I'm saying is this might end up making sense. What's most likely is that it won't, but there's a chance, and that's what I'm banking on right now. So we're going to continue to bank on the chance that this might be okay, and this might not be silly, and that this might not be ridiculous, knowing full well that it's going to be all of those things and so much more. But to be honest, that's kind of the Conflict Nerd promise. I've been sitting on my leg this whole time and it really hurts. Ah!